All right, everyone, it's time for Soccer Mom the Story. This is probably the best example of why we're currently in a moral panic. This is basically no different than what used to happen back in maybe the 80s with the satanic panic. I'm going to read through a little bit of this, but basically, here's a soccer mom who realized that her teen son, I guess, was using 4chan or the edgy side of Twitter, and then decided to research the evil internet subculture of Nazis and found all sorts of wonderful things there that are stand-ins for white supremacy. So I'll go through a little bit of it. And these are things that she herself, I guess, is listing. I'm just going to read a little bit of this verbatim. Other terms she tells parents to listen for include snowflake, kek, a form of lol that sometimes refers to an ironic white nationalist religion, cuck, chad, feminoid, which they don't even spell properly, but okay, beta, blood and soil, and the numbers 14 or 88. So if you're 14 or 88 years old, you can't say your age online without a robot deciding you're a Nazi, I guess. This is the most, link in the description, it's archived of course, so don't worry about giving CNN any ad revenue. This is the most insane thing that I've ever seen in my life. The fact that people can take this bullshit seriously in any way, shape, or form. It's like, we always look back at past eras, right? And we see some of the things that were claimed at the time. We see some of the kooky things that are claimed religiously or politically, social movements, moral panics or whatever. And we say, well, the things that they're claiming are so obviously false, like reefer madness or something. The things are so over the top, and it's a witch hunt. It's fear-mongering. It doesn't make any sense, and no sane person would believe in it. Ha ha ha, people were so dumb. And then it happens now, and it's on CNN, which supposedly, according to the soccer mom middle classers, the pearl clutchers of society, is reliable. Of course, if you're sane, you know that it's not. You know that it's basically government-fed propaganda at this point. But there are still some people that take CNN seriously. Kek has nothing to do with... Yes, the initial use of the term kek is as a stand-in, which basically, means the same thing as lol after a fashion. But it's gone well beyond that, and the idea that the kek worship thing had anything to do with white nationalism is actually quite funny. No, it was simply a meme and a joke that some people who happen to be white nationalists found funny as well. There are also communists posting Pepe pictures, but nobody ever talks about that. That didn't get a CNN article somehow. Snowflake, well, there's no better example of what that is than this kind of bullshit. It's like when articles are written about the topic of clown world and the sort of the incel bullshit side of things, which the very use of that term itself is hilarious to me. There's no better example of clown world than the articles about the very idea of it existing. Because they're coming from a bunch of lame streamers that don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. You decide to go onto an edgy forum or Twitter of all places, which is overrun with trolling, and you're actually taking that seriously and you're extrapolating that to mean actual, white nationalist movements are trying to get your 13-year-old son to become a Nazi by showing him frog pictures. Do you realize how fucking stupid you sound? You really do. When these places make this correlation, it's really funny. It's the same with various emojis and symbols like the bowl cut that is now a form of homage to the hairstyle of racist killer who targeted a black church in Charleston. If somebody is stupid enough to give themselves a mushroom cut of all things, to look like an impoverished early 90s kid, as an homage to somebody who basically is a fucking failure in life, they're probably not masterminding a Fourth Reich, they're probably being dumb. I have a feeling that this is a 4chan gag that the mainstream took seriously, much like, and they mention it, glass of milk emoji, linking white pride and supposed masculinity. Well, it has more to do with the ability to ingest dairy products and Caucasian race, but it was meant to be a joke. 4chan and other groups correctly predicted that it would stop being just a joke because groups like the ADL really like to make money. 2 lightning bolts, okay, that's an actual Nazi insignia, or can be. Even the okay hand signal can be seen as racist in some situations. No, it's mocking the moral panic, but then because one or two people who are authentically racist, quote unquote, begin using it unironically, then it just gives the ADL what they want, which is it's another selling point. They can get another injection of corporate money. All of these shakedown artists love the meme culture. I mean, it's not like they don't like it. They love it because they can make money off of it. They're corporate opportunists. The idea that drinking a glass of milk or the OK hand sign is a sign that a person is secretly a Nazi dog whistling to people is pretty funny to me. The words may not appear obviously racist or sexist in themselves because most often they're used in a humorous context, but they have been co-opted by extremists, I think. I'm going to say it again. I think that they should take the ADL's logo and try to make it a symbol of white supremacy. At some point, they'll have to put their own logo on their own website and say, yeah, by the way, this could be evidence that a person's a Nazi. Nazis stole our logo. I think it's a hilarious idea. It could probably work, by the way. I'm surprised there hasn't been a more concerted effort. Get on it, some of you glorious shit posters. She sent out a thread of warning tweets that went viral, including among parents getting ready to send their children back to school. Trust me, having gone to school, I know some of these people, they didn't go to school recently because, you know, they tend to be more middle-aged, like 40, 50-somethings, the kids and shit. They're worried about little Jimmy going to high school. Your kids will learn all sorts of edgy shit. They're going to learn about, they're going to hear 1,000 sexual innuendos a day. They're going to hear swear words that even you don't know exist. And they're going to go on the internet and then look up the Encyclopedia of Diarrhea and see Andy Six's logs and stuff. It will happen. There's really nothing you can do unless you want to imprison them in their own bedroom and homeschool them and never let them go out into the wide, wild world. Guess what? If you do that, then you're an idiot and a dumb parent. You shouldn't even have kids. Get used to the fact that they're going to be exposed to weird shit, and most of them will make it. Most people, if you look around at the world, they've got the normal job. They've got the semi-normal existence. In fact, most of them are fucking totally boring. Don't worry about armies of Nazis as the result of frog memes on the internet. You sound like a total moron. You're going to be remembered as a total moron. 20 years from now, people will be referring to videos like this one that I'm making right now and saying, oh, why is it that only a few people, who, by the way, had shade cast on them constantly by the lame stream in so doing, how is it that only a few people understood what was going on? Everybody else, CNN and all these soccer moms said there were Nazis everywhere and they were using frogs to indoctrinate children into becoming white supremacists. It's going to sound no different than the idea of secret satanic cults trying to get kids to join them by drugging them with their Halloween candy. It is no different. It's the same bullshit. It never happened then. It's pretty much not happening now. The idea that Richard Spencer is interested in weaponizing cartoon frogs to try to indoctrinate people into a Hitler worship cult is hilarious to me. The idea that groups of white supremacists stay up in their dim basement with their German import fucking beer and their gas lamps. They sit there with all their SS insignia role-playing, and they've got like a ham radio buzzing in the corner, and they sit there, you know, smoking and discussing how they're going to, you know, steal more of your children. It's the same fucking shit. It's the same as the idea back in the mid-'80s that a bunch of black-robed people hanging out in a graveyard were looking over the fence at the schoolyard and seeing the kids over there and studying them, trying to figure out who the loners were so they could try to grab them with marijuana. It's the same shit. It's propaganda. It's corporate swill. And everyone who's pushing it is a total cretin. These people don't understand anything about propaganda or about reality. That's about all. Peace out.